Charlie, thank you for those very kind words. I'm glad my wife's here to hear that. Did you get that? We've got it recorded. All right. Honored guests, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, family, friends of the graduates, members of the graduating class of 2019, welcome. Before I go any further, let me speak to your parents and say on behalf of the faculty, staff, administration, and Board of Trustees of Boston College High School, I'd like to thank the parents of the graduates for the great trust you have placed in us. We are humbled by your support, and we are blessed to have worked with you in forming your sons these past several years. A few weeks ago, when President Reagan offered me the opportunity to speak to the class of 2019, I responded by saying that during the past several years, all of you graduates have pretty much heard what I have to say, perhaps several times, and that there's probably little more that I could tell you that's new. But as you can see by my presence here on the stage, I went unheeded, so you are stuck with me. That said, I'm grateful to President Reagan for the opportunity to speak with you one more time. Perhaps it might help if you understand this talk as a review day before the final exam being the rest of your life. If you stop to consider your time here as students, you would be, as I have been, impressed by the catalog of your accomplishments. I might list your achievements in the arts or scholarship or recognition in such competitions as mock trial, Krattaman, theater, or music. We could tally the miles you have trekked across the globe to places like Tanzania and Buenos Aires, New Orleans, or the White Mountains, and we could stack together your state championships in golf, rugby, lacrosse, track, or hockey. You are a well-recognized group with an epic catalog, and that is all well and good. But after your years here at BC High, you know recognitions and awards are merely a context, an assumption perhaps, but not an end in themselves. You have been taught to pursue excellence, not because of the rewards that it brings, but because in doing so, you give greater glory to God. So rather than list your recognitions and awards or review what you have done, let us review what you have become, what you will continue to become, the graduate at graduation. Now, I know you might be tempted to roll your eyes here because you've heard this language so often and so many times. But repetition is often how we mark value, and these words that you have come to take for granted have a new meaning today as you are that graduate. So, hear from me this last time what you have worked to become. During our years here, you have become open to growth. You have increasingly taken on the responsibility for your own growth as a person, one who desires integrity and commitment in all facets of his life, and you have developed the habit of reflecting on your experiences. You have grown from being motivated for good by external forces, forces like JUG, honor cards, trophies, to being motivated by the internal, your conscience and your heart. Growth, change, forming and reforming yourself has become habit. You have come to understand that education goes far beyond the matter you are being taught and enters your personality, your character, the entirety of your mind and soul. You've come to understand that real education is a process, an interior growth, curiosity. It should remain with you. It should remain a part of you forever. You have learned these things standing in line together, at dances, at airport security, at wakes. You have learned to be open to experiences that are new to you, often uncomfortable experiences, sometimes sad, that left you ill at ease, but prompted you to alter your understanding of the world. During the past several years, you have begun to learn to strive for academic excellence. You have directed much of your energy to the pursuit of knowledge. You not only exhibit competency in those academic disciplines necessary for further education, but you have begun to develop skills and understandings which go beyond the academic requirements of college. You have worked to form in yourself permanent, worthwhile habits of the mind, such as accurate observation, careful planning, close concentration, systematic work. You've also worked to form in yourself habits of will, such as commitment, perseverance, and optimism. It has been through these competencies that you have begun to develop a passion for understanding and knowledge. You are beginning to appreciate the need for intellectual integrity and self-motivation in your lifelong quest for truth. You are becoming religious. You have examined your beliefs with a view to establishing an active relationship with a religious tradition and community. For many, that tradition is Catholic, but it may be Baptist or Muslim or Jewish or Episcopalian or Buddhist or any one of a number of faith communities. What is important is that you are engaged in a community of faith, that you have immersed yourself in spirituality, and that you have begun to form a healthy conscience with which to evaluate moral choices. You have fed and befriended the hungry on Boston Common, and you have borne on your very shoulders the weight of the homeless who have no one to mourn for them. You understand that faith is manifested in early deeds, and you are committed to doing justice. You've gained some understanding of the many needs of local, national, and global communities, and you are preparing for the day when you will take your place in those communities as competent, concerned, and a responsible member. You have begun to acquire the skills and motivations necessary to live as a man for others. And most of all, you have come to know that charity is not a replacement for justice. You are loving. You are well on your way to establishing your own identity, able to move beyond self-interest and self-centeredness in your relationship with others. You are beginning to be able to risk some deeper levels of relationship in which you can accept and cherish the mystery of other persons. It is said that the meaning of life is discovering one's gifts, but the purpose of life is in giving those gifts to others. And so you have begun to experience the richness and satisfaction of service to others and the empathy and compassion that come from such experiences. You have formed friendships. At first you learn to accept and then later come to love others, and perhaps more importantly, allowed yourself to be accepted and loved by others. Loving. I'm not speaking here about romantic love. That has its own place. I'm talking about the love your neighbor kind of love. I believe this attribute of the graduate at graduation is the most important. I'm not sure, important isn't the right word. Perhaps it's more accurate to say that it is the attribute which should most define us as individuals and as a community. Love is the very foundation of our faith, perhaps the cornerstone of all faiths. And if you're a male from my generation, just saying the word love is anxiety-inducing. Much has changed in this regard. Your generation seems to embrace the word, and it appears to me that it easily slides off your lips, perhaps a little too easy. Love is anything but easy. In fact, it is in fact a great deal of work. But as people of faith, we are called to be loving, to love everyone, all the time. There is a quote from Corinthians which most people identify with weddings and romantic love, such that it has lost much of its original meaning as a prescription for how we are to live our lives. As you listen to me read it, remove it from the wedding scene and hear it as instructions as how to live. Love is patient and kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is humble. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects. It always trusts. Always hopes. Always persevere. As people of faith, we are called to love everyone without exception. The people we like and the difficult to love, the mean-spirited, the angry, the spiteful, and even those who would ridicule us. Yes, we have to love them too. So while you were learning literature, French, chemistry, you were also learning to have faith, compassion, understanding, courage, and love. Like all those who have attended Jesuit schools during the last 400 years, we have sought to form both your minds and your souls. So as much as you have been prepared for the academic rigors of college, you have been prepared to do God's work here on earth. You have been prepared, you have been called to be nothing less than saints. And the world desperately needs you. We need you to be open to growth, to be academically excellent, to be committed to justice. But most of all, we need you to act with love. This is the work you have been prepared for, what you will have been prepared to do, what you have been prepared to be. What you have started here will be your life's work, because it doesn't matter if you become a physician, a priest, a writer, an educator, or a public servant, but it matters greatly that you continue to become loving, kind, caring, and courageous men. One final indulgence before I step down for the last time and we both take leave of this sacred place. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and Board of Trustees of Boston College High School, I would like to thank you all for allowing us to walk with you on your journey these past few years. To be even a small part of your formation has been a great gift and a blessing. Your enthusiasm, your curiosity, your trust has enriched our lives in countless ways. But now it is time for you to move on to other challenges and for us to walk with other young men. But we will not forget you, nor the great meaning and purpose you have given to our lives. May God bless you and keep you safe. Thank you.